So this is an inbox review of the new Eduard limited edition 1/32 scale Bf109E. This is a kit that allows you to build the E1 or E3 variant in Legion Condor markings. Now there is obvious reasons why I have got this kit and why I would be excited about this kit, but there is actually a more important aspect to this kit from Eduard, which I hope they will be continuing on through the rest of their releases. I'm imagining they are. Now I haven't picked up on it necessarily because I'm not so dialed into the actual subject matter, but what came with this kit, unfortunately not as a printout. Why that was, well, who knows, but anyway, they released this section. Then this is part of their monthly info Eduard release. I think it's monthly, I'm not sure, but anyway, they released it free as a PDF. And in it there was an article written by I'm so sorry, this guy's in my group on Facebook. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. I feel as though I'm just going to butcher it if I pronounce that, but this is the guy who wrote this article, and there's the name. He's a nice chap. He's very active on the group, especially when it comes to 109s, and even more so when it's E's. But anyway, he's put together this well, document, I guess it is, that's been encapsulated in the info Eduard release for July 2019. And here you can see across 7 pages what I think is the most up-to-date, detailed and correct information regarding 109s in the Condor Legion in Spain during the Spanish Civil War. And what he's been able to find out in this is a few small things that I didn't actually know myself before. Certain things like here we've got a white walled tyre, for instance, on the tail wheel, which seems to be, now you've seen it there and it's been pointed out to you, it actually seems to be the case on every single 109 and even early 109s that weren't in Spain. Also, we've got other interesting things regarding what some people think were E1s, but actually turned out to be E3s. There weren't actually that many E1s in Spain, it was mainly E3s. A great picture here, which for me I think is perfect, with this panel here being put on backwards. That is the sort of thing I'm all about as far as modelling is concerned. So like I say, it's just it's very impressive. He's found out as well that the aircraft was sent in ROM 1771 with 65 underneath and then repainted in Spain, but for some reason the front of the radiator was left in ROM 71. So again, an interesting point. Also, lastly, I won't go too mad on this, the armoured headrest was not included on the Spanish 109s, and it's the little details like this, as well as working out whether propellers were painted, not painted, with the early logo, late logo and all the rest of it, which is documented throughout this, which I think bring this to being an exceptional release from Eduard, especially as they have taken on board all of that information and put it into their kit. Now if we start with the marking options, which is I know an unconventional way to do it, here you can see, if we go to A, we've got extremely good write-up and quite a lot of differences through. Now you may look at these and think they all look the same, which you know, I could forgive you for thinking. They are similar, but there are noticeable differences throughout. So we've got 6123, which was an E1, which is often quoted as being an E3, as well as the next one, but they were actually E1s. And if you don't know the difference between an E1, it's basically the biggest difference is machine guns sticking out of the wing, and also having, or cannons, and also having bulges on the underside of the wing for those cannons. So there you go, you've got 6123, which has got Mickey Mouse on the side, perhaps one of the most famous 109Es from Spain, with Hans Schmoller Haldi. And then we've got 6119, which is showing one of the well-known logos there on the side of the fuselage. And then running on into the E3s, so we've got 6107, which has got a nice different coloured nose cone there, and the Mons logo on the nose, And then we've got 691, which is the aircraft I'll be doing, which has got the early version of the propeller, which is black on the backside, silver on the outside, and also got the early logos for the propellers as well. These are the sort of things that I'm talking about. It'll just go to making this a much more detailed aircraft. And then we've got another E3 there, which is 6111 on the back. Now, we won't spend too much time looking at the instructions because this is just a re-release of the Profi Pack Bf109 E3. But if we just run through certain parts, we've got photo etch going onto the sidewalls, which are separate sidewalls, and then go in. We're removing some plastic parts as well, raised parts, and replacing them with the option of a decal or the photo etch. Photo etch going into the radiators, and onto more sidewalls, and completing the instrument panel as well. Then we've got a full engine, gun bay, and basically nose of the aircraft, so you can have all those panels off. That's actually the easier option for construction, believe it or not, but it is more difficult from the painting point of view. We've also got resin wheels in this, so here you can see the wheels are going on with a resin tail wheel assembly as well. Masks for the canopies and wheels. Unfortunately, we don't have masks for that white tail wheel that I mentioned earlier, so that was a bit of an oversight, unfortunately. Here are the two wings, so this is where you pick your options, so you use whichever wing it is, referencing what markings you're going to do, whether it's an E1 or an E3. This continues with an E1 wing, but you'd also be there with an E3 as well. And then the engine bay is finished off here in this stage, and we've also got the machine guns going on as well. Correct positioning of wheels, which is a nice detailed part of the instructions. And then this is where we go if we're going to close the nose. Now this is a little bit more tricky. No, it's not. They've changed it. That's good. I've just built the E3 in 1/48 scale, like I said. They've actually changed it. You used to have to put the engine in and sand parts off of it, and now it looks as though that's not the case, and we've got a separate insert there for the propeller. Now that would be a much better option. So I'll let you know when we start building this how that's going to go on. We've got, from what I can tell, maybe, oh sorry, I've never built the 1/32 scale, so it is different to the 1/48, but I'm guessing it's actually probably no different to the original 1/32. Let me know in the comments. I obviously don't know enough about the subject. Then the props going on. Canopy is open or closed, and then you've got the actual wire that holds it open as well. And then we're into the marking instructions. Now I personally think these kits had fantastic wheels straight out of the box, but that was before I saw the resin alternatives, and these are fantastic. That is a really, really exceptional piece of resin casting there. Fantastic detail. No seam line running around there. Flattened wheels, flattened spot, sorry, on the wheels. I mean, it is just so crisp. It's exceptional. We've also got a blank here for the inside of the tail wheel. So that's like the tail wheel bay, I guess. We've also got a tail wheel leg and a tail wheel. Very, very fine spokes there, and really nice detail there on the tread. So that's a very welcome addition in this kit. Then we've got the photo etch, which I must admit does seem to get better and better with every release. We've got the two-part instrument panel, so you've got the dials that are glossed over from the back, and then we've got a very matted down version of the instrument panel with nice raised bezels and details, which is all pre-coloured, and the colour seems to be a lot better than it has in previous releases. The seat belts look pretty good there as well. Quite impressive indeed. And then we've also got a photo etch fret on the other side, which is not coloured, and that's mainly grills for the radiators, rudder pedals, and then some chains and rudder, what would that be called? cables, I suppose, for turning the rudder. All very good stuff. Also got a mask set. There's no point really getting that out. We know what Eduard masks are like, and they're usually very, very good for their own kits. And then we've got a comprehensive decal sheet there. And this is a very glossy decal sheet, catering for all the numbers, which are in one big block with carrier film connecting them all, but it's cut extremely tight to the bottom and the top of the numbers. You could go one bit closer and actually cut those off and be a bit tighter. I'm now going to eat my words, because if I actually paid attention, Jason, we will see that as far as the white tail wheel is concerned, we've got a decal call out for number 5. And sure enough, on the decals at number 5 we have white circles for the tail wheel. Again, exceptional stuff from Eduard. That was actually the only thing I could knock them for, and well, I can't do that. So as far as I'm concerned, this release is absolutely top notch. I've never seen anything like it, quite frankly. It's exceptional detail, and certainly the best E1, E3 as far as the Legion Condor is concerned. I'm sure if they re-released it for any other type of aircraft, the same amount of detail should go into it. So, I mean, I can't really speak highly enough of it. I did think, when I saw builds of it, that, and I'm going to try this now, I did think that the roundels were a little bit small. Now, I'm not sure. I saw someone build this on the Facebook group. I don't know, I just feel that they should be a bit bigger. Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb here and actually say I think those should be bigger. The roundels, they would go across there. I think they're bigger on the instruction sheet. Yes. I think they're too small. I think they're far too small, actually, because they're the same size as the black circle in the 6. Now, if we look at the, well, if we just look at the painting guide, I'm not sure that that circle is going to be the same diameter as that circle when all's said and done. I know they're not to scale. I don't know. I think we've got a problem there. Yes, I think we definitely do. I think they're far too small. Yep, I'm sorry, I just couldn't bear it. I had to go and get my 109D, which is the same wing, same everything basically, same markings, the whole lot. So this is the Alicat version of that roundel, and if we zoom in, I'm sure I'm right. I mean, I wouldn't have thought it. I wouldn't have looked at it online and thought, oh, that's the wrong size just for the sake of it. Something would have told me. And here you can see, I think that's pretty damning. That shows you just how off we are. I'm guessing that's a mistake on Eduard's part, because the reference pictures, even their instruction booklet, is showing that it's meant to look like that. That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to just touch the front there of the slats and just slightly run over the well, in fact, if anything, it should be bigger than that. It should be, as far as their instruction sheet's got it, it should be touching the base of the slat there and running on to the aileron, which you can see here. Now that's not the case here, so I'd be happy if it was at least like that. But I mean, we're nowhere near it. We're nowhere near it. It's ridiculous. I'm amazed at this because there's been builds of this kit online. I've just been waxing lyrical about it as well. At least we've got something we can complain about now. So that's a bit of a cock up there from Eduard, I'm afraid. I don't see that there's any way that's defendable. Because quite frankly it's wrong. I don't think there's even a one-off situation where those roundels would be correct. Certainly not the norm. They're meant to fill the you know, the main part of the wing. That's the whole point of it, being identification. And again, I mean, we got it in black and white here. It's just ridiculous. You know, they've produced this, and it's just all over it. Here you can see the size. Obviously, it's meant to run onto the aileron. It's never going to do that. What else have we got? Can I discount them with their own publication? That would be the way to do it, wouldn't it? All of their own markings are showing how wide they're meant to be. So this is a bit of a mistake. Are they going to correct it? I don't think so. Here we can see on the aileron, obviously going over the curve of the wing. Again here, even the white cross is actually pretty much the width of the wing. And there again. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If we get enough of you, hell, we could even contact Eduard, let them know, and see if they can sort it out and print us some larger roundels. If enough of us let them know, I'm sure they would do it. So please let me know what you think. I don't think there's a huge amount of these roundels available in 1/32 scale, but I do think if you look on Hanance, there probably is some. I know AML did it. There's certainly masks sets, but this being a I think £45 kit, this is what I paid for it. It's probably 50 quid, approaching that retail. You know, they should be getting this right. So let's get on to the plastic. So first off, we've got two sets of wings. Now we've got the E wing. Hang on, they're both E wings. So we've got the E1 wing, which is this, which is lacking the machine gun bulges. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, that is these. These are the bulges for the machine gun cannons, which come out of this part here. This has machine guns built into the wing, but this has 20mm cannons built into the wing. So that's the difference between the two variants. That's your E1 and your E3. Pretty much everything else, as far as the aircraft's concerned, is the same. The top of the wing has this flat. No, they both have that. That's the machine gun ports. So as I say, it's literally just the bulges on the underneath and the machine guns protruding out. We've got full rivet detail all over the wings here. It's really, really nice, really well done. Not over the top, not too much. I think is just about perfect in this scale. And then on the underside of the upper parts of the wing, we've got the details for the undercarriage. Same level of detail with recessed panel lines and recessed rivet lines all over the fuselage halves and over the cowling and all the sections and all the parts of the individual panels that make up the engine bay. Little bit of a bubble, it seems, or a mismold or something there in the join here in the plastic. So we've got plastic missing in that flange. Not too much of an issue because that's actually going to go under the cowling when we join it together. Also got an unused drop tank and a few other small parts there. It's also worth mentioning that I believe we've got hollowed out gun barrels. Then we have a great big bundle of plastic which caters for all of the detail parts. Not much to really say about this. I mean, it's all very well detailed. Here's the wheels that I mentioned that I thought were actually already okay out of the kit, where you've got separate hubs, but we won't be using those. You can see the small amount of details that are all over this. It's all very, very well moulded. Here's the hollowed out gun barrels here, which do have hollowed out ends, slide moulded, and it's all really great stuff. Again, the same amount of detail goes across all of this here, where we've got more rivet detail on the landing gear legs and the parts for the landing gear legs, for the radiators, and all the small parts that go across the airframe, as well as the horizontal stabilizers. It's all still really, really good. There are always, on the 109s, this goes for the 48th on the Eduard ones, we do get sink marks here at the base of the propeller. It's not actually that much of a problem. I just fill that with super glue, sand it back, and it's gone forever. Separate flaps and ailerons, which are positionable. And we've got two-piece horizontal stabilizers that go together on a butt join, and we've got a one-piece rudder. And there's the cockpit floor and rear section with separate seat, which does have almost, yes it does, a hole in the back for threading through the seat belts. The last sprue caters for the engine parts and all of the stuff that goes to make up the machine gun bay and ammunition boxes that sit just behind the engine. And lastly in this review we have the clear parts, and this does suffer somewhat from the same as what most Eduard kits do, in the fact that we do have stuff rattling around in the bag. It's not generally a massive issue, and this actually fell out, and getting it out of the bag, you know, they just do get beaten about a bit. I did hope, but they haven't, that they would have filled the recessed section on the rear of this, the base of this canopy, which takes the armoured headrest. They haven't. Obviously this version doesn't have an armoured headrest, so you would just want to pop a little bit of filler in there if that's going to bother you. You can sort of see it, that's the problem. But nevertheless it's crystal clear and extremely well detailed, and still has the riveting all through the framing. So there we go, the Legion Condor boxing of the 1/32 Bf109E in 1/32 scale. Almost a straight 10 across the line, but they failed, I'm afraid, at the final hurdle with these roundels, which I think is a major problem, and we've really got to knock them for that. So please let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are regarding these roundels on this boxing. I think it's a real shame that they've missed that. I mean, a little bit of quality control, a little bit of checking. I'm sure some builds of these were done. It stood out to me a mile, so you know, someone should have picked up on that on the way through. You can even see there, it's just not right, unfortunately. They're, I think what you'll find, actually, here's a brainwave, is that they are 1/48 scale, which they are. So a bit of an error there. So we've got some nice 1/48 roundels included in this kit, but unfortunately, Eduard, we want 1/32. So if you like that review, you like what's going on with the channel, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching the video. If you like what you see, please give me a like, and I'll see you in the next video.